Hey guys, it's me. Today I want to address a question that I get almost all the time when I talk to people about Kickstarter campaigns and when they want to launch a campaign in the future. That question is, when is my social outreach big enough for me to launch my campaign? And when they say big enough, of course they mean in terms of if they can actually succeed with the outreach they have now, and will the campaign make it through its goal? There are many factors to this question that can't really be answered, since you don't know exactly what will happen once your campaign goes live. So you might run into specific challenges that you hadn't foreseen, or your campaign might go viral in some way or another. But I will just try to run through some of the estimations I do when I have to look at the campaign momentum and the total outreach of my media. Okay, the first thing I want to look at is this spreadsheet I've made, and this is very simple, and anyone who knows basic math can do this. I've just set up here some factors that I will calculate on, and then I will introduce the different elements. So my Kickstarter funding goal is in this example $10,000, and the average pledge is $50, and you will just adjust these as you see fit. The percentage I need within the first 3 days I put to 35%, and you might ask, why 3 days? I think that's where the most important momentum for the campaign happens. And this is of course something I base upon my campaigns that I've done, and you can look through other campaigns through Kicktrack, or if you have insight to campaigns from other people. And here you can see after day 3 I reached 35%, and I think this is definitely the minimum if you want to be somewhat sure that you can reach the final goal within the days you've set for your campaign. The next thing is the calculation itself. When you've put up whatever you need, whatever you think you need, you can see if I need 35%, I need 70 baggers within the first 3 days, and of course you need 200 baggers in total if you go by this example. So the next thing we want to look into is your total outreach, and this goes across all medias and also you as a person. Of course, not everything is easy to judge, but there are some things that are pretty much set in stone. So we can just go from the top here on Facebook and Twitter, likes and followers. We have Facebook. You hopefully have a site for whatever you're trying to launch in Kickstarter. And then you might have a Twitter account. Then in the instance, it's a board game geek, fans of whatever game you're doing. Here you can see there are 573 fans of Burning Suns. Google Plus is not something I'm considering in any way, at least not for me. There might be other people who have success on Google Plus, but I haven't seen it yet. Then there's something like the YouTube channel. If you have something like that, maybe you have LinkedIn. The only problem with LinkedIn is that it doesn't convert anything regarding baggers. And in the end here, you have newsletter and previous Kickstarter campaigns. A newsletter is probably one of the most important things you can get. That's having a newsletter that people actually read. And if you have any other campaigns, or if you're associated with any campaigns, you might be able to draw upon that success, whatever that might be. And this, of course, has to be related to the new project you're doing. Otherwise, you will just annoy people a lot. Then there is something here you can't really do any proper estimate on, and that's the personal network. How many people from your network or from specific Facebook groups or specific people that you are in touch with. And I've just gone through some of my other campaigns and seen how many people or friends I had that backed on of course the primary level of my campaign. The last thing is just raw estimates on people you can influence yourself, but people who will in one way or another visit your campaign. I've called it the second circle of influence. And this is taken from all these total numbers and then a percentage of that. And then we have people searching on Kickstarter. And you can look into the data on Kickstarter, how many people have actually accessed the game without being led here. I think these stats are very skewed towards Kickstarter. So I would take it with a grain of salt, but still you can expect some people to come from the discovery of genuine projects through Kickstarter's site itself. When you have listed all the factors or all the channels of outreach you have, you can start dividing people into first movers and into people who will eventually get your product. And here I'm of course talking about the first 3 days, which are very important for momentum. And then I'm talking about who will pledge within the time frame of your campaign. And these percentages are just estimates. They might be very different from other campaigns, and depending on how active you are on the different media, this will of course change. How often do you write newsletters? How much do you engage people on Facebook or Twitter, so on. But there are some very important factors you have to remember, because you might say that the full potential of a newsletter is 10% and the full potential of a Facebook page is 1%. But many of those people will be crossovers that will overlap. If you took the full potential, it would not be a correct image of the total. So you have to be very pessimistic, and you have to go with worst case or as low as possible and still think this can actually happen. Furthermore, many of these medias have a lot of noise. Facebook, Twitter in particular, but Board Game Geek as well, YouTube, and your newsletter will also compete with other newsletters in your subscribers' inbox. And one of the things that hopefully can help you is if you have a lot of goodwill, if you have been very, very engaging on some of these media, or maybe you have put out a lot of content for people, they might be more inclined to give back. And in the end, you will end up with a certain amount of backers estimated for the first 3 days, and a certain amount of backers estimated for the total run. And no matter how pessimistic you are, I think it's very important that you can see that this can happen within these means. You could also put in other parts if you have specific bloggers who you know will blog about your game, or if you have data from previous campaigns or other campaigns, other people's campaigns. You can run a lot of tracking using bit.ly links and so on. But in the end, these things are very, very, very hard to measure down in the details of when do people react. Is it within the first 3 days, or was it on the 4th or 5th day? So if you don't want to keep a big log in that regard, you just have to put in some qualified numbers and then run them from there. And of course, Kicktrack can be a very, very useful tool to look at other campaigns and thereby get an idea of how many percent do you need, what are the trending when you go into day 4, 5, 6, and so on. Yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you can use it as inspiration when you have to do your own campaign and have to set your own funding goals. And remember, this is just guidelines and ideas to how you can do it. There are you can find a lot of data on the internet, and hopefully you can make it work within the area of influence you have. And let me know in the comments below if you've experienced something different, or you have some other data that proves otherwise. I would love to hear what you've had of experience with campaigns and conversion. So until next time, have a great day, and thank you for watching.